How many times has this happened to you? You're just riding along on your bicycle along the side of the road. All of a sudden a car comes right up next to you and just yells, "Get off the road!" And comes over, cuts you off right in front of you. Like you don't even exist. I want to talk about motorists on the road, which is something that cyclists tend not to talk publicly about because there's not much nice things to say about motorists on the road. Because in our eyes, the cars are the enemy. Because they can take our lives at will. I just want to go through and kind of explain some things to the drivers or people who may not understand what the proper laws are that are driving cars and motorcycles down the road. Or even if you're just a pedestrian on the side of the road walking your dog or something. This law also applies to you. Start off with, most states throughout the entire continental United States have a law that you must pass any cyclist with a minimum of 3-foot distance. That's the minimum safety distance. You should not come any closer than 3 feet to a cyclist in any state in the entire United States. I live in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania state law has 4 foot for safety, so that means you should not pass me within 4 feet. If your tire is within 4 feet of my bicycle, you are passing me unsafely. Pennsylvania state laws and most state laws in the entire United States, they allow bicycles to ride on any road that is not an interstate unless otherwise posted. And the posted signs will say things like motor vehicles only, no bicycles. This thing has no motor on it, no gas, no electric, so it's not assisted, not even assisted. So this is a pure bicycle. State law in Pennsylvania states bicycles should ride on the shoulder of the road when it's a 2-lane road, although not required to do so. They are not required to ride on the shoulder. No, they're not required to do that. Bicycles may also take the right portion of the lane. This is my preferred method of travel. I prefer to take the right portion of the lane rather than the shoulder. And let me just show you, just in this parking lot, what the shoulder looks like. Look at all that freaking debris. Just here in the parking lot shoulder. Imagine what it looks like on the side of the road. All the things that could pop my tire and make me lose control. Not a safe thing to do. So I choose to take the right portion of the lane. Now, most drivers do not realize bicycles are allowed to be on the road. So they will come up, say mean things to you when they're the idiots that don't know the freaking law. And most of the times, drivers just flat out don't know what the heck they're doing. And this applies to people walking as well. So let's talk about right of way. Cars, you must yield to a bicycle. Bicycles, you must yield to pedestrians. And horses. Horses, you must yield to pedestrians. So if you're a pedestrian walking on the shoulder of the road, someone passes you right on the white line, that ain't 4 feet or 3 feet. So in any state, they're passing you unsafely. Now let me explain to you why people don't know this law. And that's because officers do not enforce the law. And the reason why this law is not enforced is because I looked it up for the state of Pennsylvania. And you know what the penalty is for someone passing me unsafely in the state of Pennsylvania is? $25. They pass me with less than 4 feet, it's only a $25 fine. An officer is not going to waste 20 minutes of his time to pull someone over, check their license, write up a ticket, for a $25 fine and possibly go to court to fight that $25 fine. Like, oh, how do you know it was 4 feet, this, that, and the other thing. They're not going to do it. The only reason they would ever enforce this law is if they were able to get them on a secondary charge, such as intoxication or drug smuggling or illegal possession of firearms or something like that, or they have the warrant for their arrest. That's the only reason why they would do it, is as one of those BS stops, like an out tail light. The thing is, that poses a danger for us cyclists and people who want to walk their dogs alongside the road, because people don't know this law exists, because no one makes it known that it exists. Certain areas will post signs, 3 foot for safety. For example, is in California. Pennsylvania, it's 4 feet for safety, and you'll see that pretty much posted nowhere. But they did release a press release stating that that is the new law. And again, it's only $25 fine, so officers will not enforce it. By law, if a car wants to pass me safely, and they do not pass me safely and they hit me, it is on the vehicle. There's nothing I can do as a cyclist to get the heck out of their way. Where am I going to go? I'm going to crash into a sidewalk, guardrail, a telephone pole, a light pole, a deer, freaking any debris on the side of the road. And I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to risk my life to try to dodge you. A car can both go faster than me, they can outrun me, they can maneuver faster than I can. There's nothing I can do to get out of your way to make sure that the road is safer for the car. It is on the driver to ensure that they are passing properly and that they understand the rules of the road before they get their freaking licenses. They are required to sign a paper stating that they understand the rules of the road when they get their license. If they don't know this rule, they need to get the heck off the road and get educated. There's nothing I can do to educate these people about the rules of the road. I've had people come up to me and drive over here and be like, hey, get off the road, moron! Like, what the heck, man? I'm on an old route 22. You know, there's nothing illegal about me being here. This is a state route. I can drive on a state route on my bicycle because it's legal to do so. It's not, the only places you are not legally allowed to take a bicycle is on the interstate or any place that says motor vehicles only, or it's posted no bicycles. None of those conditions exist on old Route 22 or 501 for that example. So, motorists out there, please keep in mind, be conscious of cyclists and people walking alongside the road. Ensure you give them the proper passing distance. Even me with my bicycle, if there's someone walking on the side of the road on the shoulder, I'll go all the way out there to the yellow line because I make sure I pass them with their 4 feet. And an average person is maybe 2 foot wide at most. So if I'm all the way out here at the white line, I'm giving them their 4 feet. Or at the yellow line, I'm giving them their 4 feet. So, without going in oncoming traffic. Some people will say, oh, bicycles impeding traffic. Well, bicycles are not impeding traffic because the law states that any vehicle, bicycle is a vehicle, going more than 15 miles an hour under the posted speed limit, you can pass them in a double solid zone. But before you pass, you must ensure that it is safe to do so. That means look ahead. See if there's a truck coming. If you can't see, stay behind them. Put your hazards on. And wait until you can see that it's safe to go. So like if I'm going up a hill, which is usually when people will stack up behind me because I'm going probably like 3 miles an hour going up a hill. So people will stack up behind me or they'll try to pass me. But one of the most common things I have happened is people will come out here, give me the proper passing distance, and then they'll look ahead and be like, oh, there's a car coming. So what do? They don't look right. They just look at the truck coming in front of them. So what do? Turn this way. What ends up happening is they come right here in front of my fender. And the thing is, I call that threading the needle. And when they do that, what if they have to slow down? Guess what's going to happen? Boom. I'm gonna run into them because they unsafely passed me, and it's on them as the motorist to ensure a safe passing distance. Just like it's on me as a cyclist to ensure I pass pedestrians safely. The only time I cannot pass a pedestrian safely is on trails. For example, bike trails that do not have the proper distance to pass them. In that instance, you slow down, you can pass someone legally. So if I'm on the shoulder of the road and I'm broke down, I have my hazards on or something, so if my bicycle's pulled over to the side of the road, there is a law that allows you to pass me in this lane if you reduce your speed to 15 miles an hour under the posted speed limit. So you must put your hazards on if you're 15 miles an hour under the posted speed limit. Bicycles are not required to have hazard lights, so we will not deploy hazard lights. We do not have to have slow-moving vehicle placards or anything like that because we're not a motorized vehicle. So the only thing we're required to have on us is a front and rear reflector if we're operating in the daytime. If we want to operate at nighttime, we must have a rear light, which you can see I have, and a headlight, as you can see I have. There's no minimum or maximum requirement of how the brightness of these lights. They just have to exist. Okay. Most times, people don't have lights on, rarely enforced by law enforcement. Except in California, I know it's enforced at night there, in Oceanside especially, where I used to live. Here in Pennsylvania, no one's going to say anything. They'll just call in the police, complain about it, and police will just be like, okay, well, we'll take a look at it, and they'll probably just check to see if the person's intoxicated that's riding the bike. Because believe it or not, you can get a DUI on anything with wheels, including a bicycle. Bicycle, skateboard, scooter, anything. Anything with wheels. Even a wheelchair. So if you're a person in a wheelchair and you have too much to drink, you can get a DUI because your chair has wheels on it. Just an interesting fact. Kind of messed up when you think about it. But, nonetheless, right of way, cars yield to bicycles. Bicycles yield to horses. Horses yield to pedestrians. That's how it works. It's up to the drivers to ensure safe passing, and it's up to them to ensure that they yield to everything else. It's not up to me as a cyclist to get the heck out of your way. I'm allowed to be here. I'm allowed to be on the road. Screw you drivers who don't know the freaking law. I am so sick of people driving up next to me and telling me to get off the road, because I don't have to get off the road. You have to go over. You have to get the heck away from me, because you're creating an unsafe condition by coming up alongside me. People who want to stop and talk to me, you can wave me down, pull over to the side of the road. We can talk about it. Anything you want to talk about, I'm available. You don't have to be mean or a dick about it. I have plenty of people flag me down wanting to talk about it. Heck, I could be stopped at a traffic light, people next to me are taking pictures and videos. I don't know where they post pictures and videos on my phone will be at, but I'm just saying it happens. When you guys hit me, I'm gonna have fun suing your insurance company, because there's a tiny little scratch on my Velomobile could cost up to $3,000 for a tiniest scratch. Even if there was a scratch there beforehand, if you created any more damage, it's just all on you. Because that's the way insurance companies work. Because you created the new damage, has to be pre-accident condition. That's just the way insurance companies work. Another thing is, cyclists can take the full lane if a hazard exists on the side of the road. So like if I'm in the right portion of the lane, I look ahead, I see, oh crap, there's a deer up there. I can take the whole lane. Drivers get mad when I do this. And that's because they're not paying attention like I am. I can see the deer up there on the side of the road. Okay? Driver behind me, they don't see it. Because they're not looking, they're looking at their phone, they're looking at my taillight, they're looking at me like, what the heck is that thing? Get off the freaking road, why are you going so slow? Blah, 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 blah. And they'll get right up on me. And then a deer runs out. What do you think I have to do? Stop. What do you think they do? run into me. That'd be unfortunate to have such a beautiful machine ruined by a driver who chose to, one, follow too closely, get road rage, and not provide me my 4 foot for safety. It's unfortunate drivers think that way, that they have the run-of-the-mill, run-of-the-road, they can do whatever they want, no one else is allowed on the road, bicycles aren't allowed on the road, scooters aren't allowed on the road, people in wheelchairs aren't allowed on the road. That's not true. Everyone's allowed on the road that isn't posted motor vehicles only or no bicycles. If I'm a jogger and I want to go for a run on a state route, I can go for a run on a state route. I can go for a run on a US route if I want to. I just can't go for a run on an interstate. So, drivers, I really want you to consider cyclist safety. And what I really want to happen is I want us both to go home safe at the end of the night. I don't want to be the one dead, and I don't want you to live after you've killed me.